Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to Endless Legend. This is a 4X game by the guys from Amplitude Studios, who are the guys who brought you Endless Space. A very space-themed 4X game, which I did start to do a Let's Play on a little while ago, but there wasn't that much interest in it, which is why I actually abandoned that series. But I actually thought I would give this game a go and show you guys what it was like. Now, this game is currently in beta. It's available on Steam in early access, and it has been since April 2014. And I've pretty much had it since the moment it went on sale, but I've only put in about 30 minutes of play so far. So I thought I'd share my experience of it with you guys. Not sure how far away the release actually is, but so far the game is looking very, very polished. So what actually is Endless Legend? Well, as I said, it's a 4X game, and it actually sits somewhere between Endless Space and Civilization 5. So instead of a space-based game, although it is very much on alien worlds, it is set on a hexagonal grid on land, just like Civilization will be. Now, I know a lot of you are going to turn around and say, well, it's just going to be a rip-off of Civilization Beyond Earth. But bear in mind, this actually came out on early access before I think they even announced Beyond Earth. So there are going to be some similarities, but you'll actually find mechanically it is much more like Endless Space. So let's go in and have a look what we've got. One thing I did just quickly notice in the options, which I've never tried and I probably won't do on this video, but at some point in the future I will. Under the under the advanced video, you can actually change the geometry from hexagonal to chaotic. So you can actually have random tile shapes. That could be quite fun. Maybe we'll have a look at that later on within the video. So let's go into a new game. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is we have the choice of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factions, which is pretty similar to what you would have in Endless Space. So unlike a game like Civilization, where you've got dozens of different civs to choose from, you only have a choice of 8 factions. Now, there is actually a reason for that, and that is because, like Endless Space, you can actually customize factions if you wish to. So if we actually have a look down here at our game settings, we can choose how many players there are. So it's going to be a 6-player map. We'll leave everything on standard. We can change the actual map. It's Pangea. The continent shapes are average, temperate climate, average topography. So pretty standard. We can go into advanced settings though, and we can actually change an awful lot of the individual bits and pieces. So we can change how many lakes we have, the lake sizes, we can change the number of rivers, the continent forms, see around the edges of the world or not, whether we have islands, the number of continents, how much of the map is land and water. So there's an awful lot of customization available for the maps. Let's just go back to where we were. So we can select our empire, and just trying to find the interface to create our own empire. Actually, I think it's on another screen. No, can't see where it is. There's definitely a way of doing it, because I've been in there before, where you can actually pick an empire and customize them. But we're going to go in with the Windwalkers for this one, just as a demonstration. So let's hit the start button. So already the game is actually looking very good. The art style I really like. It's very, very colourful. The interface is quite nice, and if you have played Endless Space before, then you'll be instantly familiar with the interface of this game. Now, I'm just talking here while it loads. It does take a little bit of time to load the map in, but like I said, bear in mind, it is in beta, so it's not finished yet, and as a result, the game isn't optimized, so I'm sure when the actual finished game is released, it will be much quicker. So it's currently just generating the world. Now, like I said, I've only had about 30 minutes of playtime on this so far, which has been enough for me to get a sort of feel of the game, the way the mechanics work. And because I have played Endless Space before, it was instantly familiar to me when I actually loaded in the game. So it's about to go in.
Is coming.
Actually get an intro. I'm going to skip that because I haven't seen that myself. And we just see that the geometry of the world just neatly forms out of the map there. So this is the actual main game screen here, and we can zoom in and out As you can see, we zoom out, we get ourselves a nice map of the area, and we can zoom back in again. And there is a hex grid. I think there's a way of turning it on, but I can't remember where that is in the options. So let's have a very quick look at the interface that we have here, and it is pretty much identical to what you would expect from Endless Space. Mousing over a tile will actually tell you what is on that tile and what it gives you. Along the top bar here, you have the Empire screen, where you can basically manage your entire empire. You have your list of cities, which we don't have any yet. We have our research panel, which is divided into these 6 different circles with various different technologies in that all work out from the middle. I think the top tier ones are locked because obviously the game is still in beta and it's not finished yet. And at the beginning, you can only access the tier 1 technologies. Blue ones are ones that you already have, so these are going to be traits for your particular civilization. So I have a sewer system, which basically means all of my cities will have 20 approval. They will get, I think the star is science, because they have changed the interface slightly. So +1 star on approval. So yeah, I think it's +1 science if the city is happy, but you do lose 1 gold for the upkeep. And also we have seed storage, which gives us +10 food on a city during the summer season, and +15% food on the city with -1 for upkeep. So what else could we choose along here? Search party is quite useful. That takes 28 science. The star obviously isn't science. Have to find out what that is. Search party will improve our searches on ruins. We could have aqua pulvistics, which would give us +3 gold on terrain with water, sea or lake only, not river, during the summer season. Empire mint would give us +5 gold and +15% gold on the city. We can get some shaman, which is a better fighting unit. Military science, which gives an extra slot on militia. We can have a public library, which increases our science. And we can have geomic labs, which gives us better science on terrain. So I think what we're going to go for actually is the military unit, so I can show you some of the combat. We will have some, but that's what I'm going to select. We've got a list of queues. We've got nothing being built. We don't have any... Oh, we do actually have a hero. We start with 1 hero, just like you would on Endless Space. And we can see our armies. And we've got our diplomacy screen, but so far yet we haven't met anybody else. So we can't really do anything with that. Let's go back to the main map. We have the little button down here that shows us that other people still need to make their turns. We've got our options from here. It tells us the... is that the weather cycle? Yeah, return of winter. So the weather actually does play a part in this game. There's the grid layout. So there is a way to actually turn the grid on or off to make things a little easier to see. So what we got? Oh, you've got your FIDS output. FIDS is pretty much exactly the same as it would have been in Endless Space. You've got FIDS, F-I-D-S, food, industry, dust, which is gold, and science. So, and just like a game like Civilization, you can see that different tiles give you a different amount of food, science, production, and gold. So we're going to turn that off for the time. But actually, no, we're not going to turn that off. We're going to actually select our army here. Now you can see we actually have 3 units at this point. We have our hero, and we also have 2 rangers and a settler. So what we want to do is we want to take our settler, and we want to found a new city. We might as well do it on the spot he's on. Seems as good as any. It's on a river. There's quite a few decent tiles around. Now, you will see this little white flashing edge around the edge of the area we're in. This is an actual region, and you can only settle 1 city per region. So I couldn't settle a city here and then another city here, for example, because they are in the same region. But I think that's a good enough spot to start on, so we're going to settle our city. And it actually gives us a list of places we can choose. We're going to put it right there where we stand. Our city drops. The entire region's borders become ours, but the city's sphere of influence is still the 6 surrounding hexes. I'm just going to turn the hex grid off. Are we on or off? And turn the FIDS off. It just gives us a bit of a better look. We have the city selected, which is why we can actually see what all of the surrounding tiles give us. Now, if we actually select the city, we have the city selected at the moment. we have the list of things that we can build. So let us start by building some siege storage. That will take 4 turns, and that will actually give us a good way of getting started and increasing the speed at which our city grows. And you can see we have the list at the top here that tells us the happiness level of our city, the population level. We've only got one population, and it tells us how many workers we have. All of our modifiers that tell us how much food, industry, science, and gold we have. Oh, influence. That's what the star is. This influence is a new thing. I've not encountered that because it's not part of Endless Space, but I guess we'll find out what that does. So I'm going to take my army that is in there somewhere, and we are going to move out. I'm just going to right click. We're going to head towards this over here, which is an earth tower. This is an anomaly. Struts of rock form a primordial structure. The stone is easily sculptable. Draftsmen will enjoy working with this material. I don't think we actually get anything for picking it up. I know there are certain things on the map that if you run over, you can actually pick things up from them, but we're just going to have a little bit of an explore and push back the fog of war. That's as far as we can move on this turn. If we just zoom in though, the quality of the cities and all of the buildings, they really do look fantastic. A very elven looking city we have here. And if we just zoom out again, you can actually see this blue outline around the region that we are in, which is called Shulna. So we're going to zoom back in and we will end our turn. And we have a quest. Now this is something new with Endless Legends. You actually get specific quests that you can do. So not going to read all of the bump, but basically the summary is explore the map and search 3 ruins, and that will give me 20 influence. Okay, that's fine. Let's go and dismiss that, and we'll go and do that quest. So let's look around and find ourselves some ruins if we can. Okay, now we have encountered a minor faction, Jotus. Now, the minor factions are pretty much like barbarians. No, not even barbarians. They're more like city-states in Civilization. Sometimes they're hostile, sometimes they're not. You can assimilate them into your own empire, or you can choose to wipe them out. Prefer not to get involved with them at this point, because we just want to search around and find some ruins. So let's hit the next turn button, and we'll move our military units around in a circle. So the population has changed in one or more of my cities, which is fantastic. We've encountered another minor faction. We'd actually get plus 5%, what did we say that was? Influence. If they are per pacified village on cities. We don't want to get too close to some of these potential enemy units. Let's just have a quick look in our city. Now it has a population of 2. And see what's going on. Not sure how we can assign workers to tars at this point, or if that is even a thing, but I think it's mainly just done automatically. And as soon as it's completed its construction, we will probably start getting ourselves some more rangers. Possibly another settler, so I can show founding of another city. But let's end the turn, because we can't move any further on this go. I know I'm sort of walking around in a bit of a large circle here. And I am moving sort of 1 hex at a time, because I don't want to just run right into the middle of enemy territory and have a nasty surprise waiting for me. So this now tells us that our construction is completed. We have our seed storage now. So what we need to do is go back into the city and have another production. What we are going to do, I think, is we will get ourselves another ranger. We'll build a Founders Memorial, because that gives us a lot of improvements on the city. And then we'll queue up another settler. And just like Endless Space, of course, you can actually put several things in the construction queue just by clicking on them. It tells you the total number of turns. And if you had enough cash, you could just buy them outright. So that's absolutely fine. We've also got some infantry units here, although I think these are just actually garrisoned. Can we select them? We can't create an army from them yet. I think these are just actually militia are just defensive units in the city. We've completed our research on an arch shaman. which actually... And we've discovered a new minor faction. What I'm going to do is go back into my city, and I'm going to add an Arch Shaman to the build queue, and I'm actually going to move them up so that they are completed after the Ranger. And we probably won't bother with the Memorial, we'll just get the Settler straight on so we can have ourselves another city. Let's keep moving around. We may be able to actually go in and fight these guys, so let's go and have a look at the possibility of doing that so I can show you battle. So, select your army interaction with this target. Well, there's only one option, and that is to attack, and that is what we will do. Now, what we could do here, if we chose to, is we could auto-resolve it, and just like you could on Endless Space, you don't actually have to get involved in the battle, you just hit auto-resolve, which will just basically come up and say whether or not you've won. Now, you can see by this circle here, we're pretty evenly matched. They're almost as good as we are. We do have a hero, which is definitely advantageous. Now, we could also just spectate the match, which means it would be automatically resolved, but we get to watch it instead of just getting the result. Or we can do it manually, and manually is what we are going to do. We can also choose our strategy, whether we're going to be offensive or defensive. We're going to be offensive, and let's just go in and say we are ready to fight. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that all of the troops involved in the battle scatter out around the map. So instantly now, those armies, which were all in a single stack, have now split and look more like something out of Age of Wonders. Now, the only thing you're going to find in this is that the actual combat is pretty much automatic. So you don't actually move your individual units. So we can see the orcs up here. They have 40 health. My rangers are actually quite a bit weaker and only have 30 health. But this is a deployment phase. So what we can do here is we can take our units, including our hero. We can take these units and we can actually position them. This is the deployment phase before the battle starts. We can take our archers. There's only a certain number of spaces we can put them. We're going to put the archers on the higher ground and keep our hero in front of them. And I'm going to click ready. Now we get to assign targets. We can either tell everyone to attack one target. So I think what I want is all my rangers to concentrate on a single one of their units, and probably my hero as well. Let's get one of them killed first by just dogpiling all on one unit. So let's launch the attack. Now everything now is going to happen pretty much automatically. My hero starts moving closer. They cast some sort of spell. My hero fires a volley, takes half of their health off instantly. My first team of rangers move into firing range, and they fire off a shot, do another 6 damage, so that the orcs only have 8 health left. Second lot of rangers move in. Now you see all these little icons that are around them. These are the various bonuses and penalties that you are getting from the terrain and from your hero. And it's also the amount of movement they have left as well. So I haven't fully worked out the interface yet. So that's the end of one turn. And now obviously everybody else only has one target, so we will carry on with that. Let those guys continue. We can also change our strategy on the fly using our hero as well. But I don't really think we need to do that. We get all of the opening shots. And the orcs are dead. So it does pretty much work the same way as a battle does in Endless Space, except it's actually on the ground instead of being in space with spaceships. You just tell your units roughly what you want them to do, and the battle is pretty much decided. So there is a limit to the number of units you can have in an army, and this is pretty much the same way as it would have been in Endless Space. So you can only have so many units in a single stack. Oh, I haven't got a science selected. That's why it was telling me not to skip turns. Stupid me. Could have been researching something else. Military science, public library. Yeah, let's get some more research on the go. Why not? You can queue multiple things up, of course. I believe it is shift. So we could then go and queue that up. Yep, that's fine. So that works. Our hero is leveled up. So if we go into the academy... I could have just hit inspect. So your heroes do have a couple of item slots in this for equipment. So they have their specialist slots, and they have their armor slots and their weapon slot, which is all things that you can assign. I think you can upgrade them as well. But we can actually, if we go into the skill tree, we should have an upgrade for him. So we can give him improved searching on ruins. We can give him +1 movement on units. Or we can give him assignment cooldown. Let's give him +1 movement because we are using this this group as a scout. So now we have 5 movement instead of just 4. We've actually found some unspoiled ruins. This is what I have been looking to find and have been unsuccessful so far. So these are pretty much like the ancient ruins in Civilization, which allow you to search them and you might get something for doing it. So, search for clues at this location. This can reveal treasure, enemies, or a quest or nothing at all. When performed by a hero, this action provides a base value of 6 XP. Well, we do have our hero here, and we have found nothing of interest at this location. Isn't that just wonderful? Some black dust. Lots of weird and interesting resources because obviously it is very, very spacey. So let's continue just to trudge around the outside of our region. We'll go and pick up the rest of our troops when we can. We do have a very nasty looking unit here. I'm not sure if we actually want to go and attack that, but it's me, so of course I want to go and attack that. Oh, it's actually attacking us. Now, luckily, it actually says we have a better chance of winning here anyway, so we're going to go on the offensive. We are ready to fight. The map spreads out. Now, the good thing is, we're not actually fighting in a single tile, and we have to make use of the terrain. And I do like how certain elements of the terrain, like the trees, disappear and just turn into this sort of map, showing us that there are trees there. And that is actually quite a cool thing. We're going to take our hero and place him at the front, so he can reach it in melee combat. And we are going to move our archers around the sides. Unfortunately, they are in a little bit of a predicament with their current spacing because this thing has the high ground, but we'll see how well that serves it. And we are ready to fight, so let's hit the button. Everyone is going to be targeting him, so let us launch into a fight. We get to go first. It has 65 health, which is an awful lot of health. It could do a lot of damage to us, even though auto-resolve said that we were likely to win the fight. So we've got it down to near half its health. It only has a speed of 2, so it can't move very far. So everyone, I think it's only got a melee attack. Now I think that arrow means it has the high ground, which is certainly going to be advantageous for it. And it's in the trees as well. So it actually has a lot of cover where it is. But all of our guys are ranged. Now he can probably attack my hero from there, which indeed he does. Although my hero actually has his own little shielding ability, which helps him an awful lot. Let's just relaunch the attack. My hero's now going to go in and shoot it right in the face, and it is down. Well, at least that was fairly easy to kill. Hero took a little bit of damage, but he will recover from that. It just cycles through all my units at the rest of the turn, and everybody walks back onto the square they were on, or the hex, and we have another completed fight. We get a bit more XP from that, and we probably can't quite reach... Oh, we can reach these ruins, so let's go to the ruins. And we have a successful search. We have got ourselves 30 dust. We also need 1 more ruins to complete that that quest that we've got. So we'll continue to move around in this direction. We've got some more stuff over here that we could fight if we wanted to. We've got ourselves a mutant marsh, whatever one of those is. And I also believe we have probably finished... Yes, we've finished our ranger, but we're currently working on the shaman. I would like the shaman to be complete before I make it into another army. Let's keep... Oh, that's not where I wanted you to move. Still need to find 1 more ruin. So let's just sort of fast forward through a few turns in the hope we can do that. Now, what's this? A new empire plan will be unlocked in 6 turns. Save some influence points if you intend to implement critical policies. So that's definitely something new that has been added. Is that another ruin over there? Oh, temple ruins. Then we'll have a little investigate with them on the next turn. So let's end that turn there. Hopefully we won't get anything that... Oh, I missed that. We have completed the public library research. So let's go over here and have a look at the temple ruins. We are going to search. And we found nothing of interest, but we have, however, completed that mission, which gives us 20 influence. And we get ourselves a new quest, which is basically spread out your force and find a new perfect region to colonize. And we'll get ourselves some more influence. So we need to go and get another colony set up, which we will do, because we do have a settler in the queue. But we're just going to trudge around and see what we can find, see if we can find anything interesting. So another turn ended. We have completed the construction of the Arch Shaman. So we're going to dismiss that. And we'll just have a quick look up here. Got more stuff we can fight. Now, we've actually found a green border here, which means that is probably another faction's land. What we're also going to do is we are going to go to our city. And we are going to create a new army using the Shaman and the Ranger. And with them selected, we are going to start heading up towards our hero. Now, we only have a movement of 4 with these guys because they don't have the hero with them. We'll end the turn. And we'll just have a little sneaky look up here and see if we can find who this area belongs to. What is that wine deposit? Not sure. Yeah, we can actually walk into their territory. We've actually found some more ruins there, which you could potentially go and have a look at. Haven't been attacked by them yet. Let's search your ruins. And we found nothing of interest, which is a little bit of a shame. Let us start getting back out of this territory, though. Haven't found their city, though. If we go into... Where are we? Oh, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so we haven't actually met them yet. I suppose I actually have to physically find the city to do that. Which is probably going to be in here somewhere. Usually in the middle of a region. There's some temple ruins there. I'll just start nicking all their ruins from them. I'll probably annoy them. Let's go and search those ruins. And we get ourselves 30 dust. Brilliant. Got some units here that need dealing with. It does look like an army of just one. And I think it's just a minor faction. Some dredges. We could probably go into battle with them. And again, it says we've got a good chance of winning. Let's go in and have the fight. And as usual, I think we'll just have the hero up front. We'll have the rangers on the high ground. We are ready to go. Everybody's just going to attack them because it's the only target there. 16 damage done to them already. Looks like they had some sort of defensive ability on my hero. Now, they had 47 hit points, which is quite a bit. They've still got 16 left, which means they... I think they actually got... No, they get to attack first. There we go. Yes, they do get the advantage there. But they didn't do an awful lot of damage to my hero. I think my hero's dazed, so he couldn't actually attack on that turn. He's not dazed anymore, though. So he does get to attack. And they are dead. Brilliant. That's some more XP towards my hero, who I think should have just leveled up from that. These guys should disappear. Yep, brilliant. That's that fight completed. Oh, we've got a big nasty over there. Hero has leveled up. So let's go and inspect him. And let's give him... Let's just actually give him even better movement. We'll go down the down this class tree, because he's a Windwalker, he's a Ranger. So these are his class specific. So you have 3 lots of skill points you can put in for your heroes. You have class specific skills, you have faction specific skills, and then the commentary. So let's take use of his class. So we have done that. What have we got here? A new empire plan can be set up. Oh, it's 4 times. It's just giving me the countdown. So before we go and deal with this thing, let us try and put our armies together. Where did we put you guys? You guys can't move all that far, all that quickly. But we would like to go and merge up. So we've got an interesting thing here that we are going to have to deal with. Let's end the turn, and hopefully it doesn't come directly after me. Oh, maybe we do need to do this. So, we can have +3 gold in cities, plus 20% unit production cost reduction, science or vision on units. I think we're actually going to go for the vision on units for this. It's not going to be a full playthrough, of course. I'm just literally demonstrating the game. So at this point, we don't really need to worry too much about building the empire. I'll end it in a few turns. It's literally just a bit of a showcase. And he is coming towards me, which is a real pain. Hasn't attacked, though. So I'm going to move these guys up as far as they can get, which is only to there. And I'm going to move you down. And now I have 2 armies all on the same stack, and it is now 1 army. Then you've got various options. We can put them on auto-explore, we can sleep them, we can have... If you have armies in adjacent hexes, you can actually swap units from one army to another, or you can garrison them into a building. But if you just double-click and stack them on top of one another, you end up in this position. So our hero with his extra movement can now mean these guys can move further, and we can actually now go and attack this thing. Now this is a level 2 thing, and it is still saying that we have a chance of winning. We are going to go in and fight with this because now we also have our shaman as well. We've got an extra unit to play with these guys over here. So we'll go in for... Oh, they look very weird, don't they? They're a strange looking thing. So we're going to put our hero up front. And we are going to do a little bit of flanking with some of the rangers, and we are going to keep our shaman at the back. Everyone's going to be targeted on him, of course. So let's launch the attack. Now, shaman actually get to go first, and they are moving right up front, casting some sort of spell and basically setting him on fire. He's actually already taken some damage, so maybe he's already been attacked by one of the other armies. Unfortunately, the shaman have put themselves in a little bit of a situation there, and that was an awful lot of damage that thing has just done. It almost killed my heroes, took my shaman out straight away, but at least we did get the kill. So we lost our first unit there. Actually, lost 2 units. We also lost one of our rangers as well. Wow, that thing hits hard, but at least it is killed. So let us just safely as we can try and get back to our own little village, and we're going to try and get a settler out. I think we've actually got one queued up, so we'll just keep ending the turn. Now, of course, you also have this button to cycle through your armies if they don't have orders, which is pretty standard for these games. So let's just keep moving down here. And at least we've got a slot in our army that we can escort our settler somewhere. That's the temple ruins we have already explored. You guys can continue to come down here. And it's worth having our settler escorted by our hero, because of course our hero gives us additional movement, which is very useful for the settler. Let us end the turn. Settler should be finished on this turn. Or is it 1 turn left to go? 1 turn left to go. Let's just end the turn because we can. And that should be our settler done, and it is. So what we're going to do is create a new army, which gives us our settler. Select the settler, and we want to... Never managed to do this right. Yeah, I did. I moved him on. So the settler is now part of this army, and we can move into a region that we haven't already got control of. So let us move up to... Let us move up to this region. No, this region's got a green border. This one already belongs to somebody else. So let's try moving up to this region up here. So we get quite a bit of movement. In fact, we want to go... I was trying to go to there because I didn't want to have to fight these things. I don't think I will have to, so we should be okay. We've already got something queued up to build. Now, there's still quite a lot more to come to the, with this game in terms of the mechanics, and I haven't had a proper play around with it to find out exactly everything that you can do, but even so far, it's still a very interesting game. We've got some more interesting resources there. So what we should be able to do is decide to settle a city, and we can basically settle a city pretty much anywhere within the region. So that could be a good spot there. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have our second city. and we actually get ourselves, for doing that, we get ourselves a science, and we also get ourselves 15 die, which is a luxury resource and basically gives us Empire happiness. And I should get another quest. If I don't get it now, I will get it soon as well. So now we actually have multiple cities, and we can have production queues for those cities. But that is basically the way Endless Space works. If I zoom out now, you can actually see that this guy up here has an awful lot of land. He's got a couple of different regions up there. There's a few factions around. And the map is actually quite large. But yep, that is Endless Space by Amplitude Studios. If you like 4X games, and if you like Endless Space, and if you like Civilization, it's a good mix of the two. And I keep your eye on it. I'm not going to say give it a try now because, you know, the game is in early access. It isn't finished yet. And you never know how these things are going to turn out. But certainly, so far, it looks like it's got a lot of polish. Looks like there's been a lot of time and effort put into it. And yeah, keep your eye on it because I think we're going to see some great things from it. But before I end the video, I am going to just have a quick look and see how this game works if we set the geometry to chaotic. Okay, so here we go. We are on to our new game. I just thought I'd try this with the chaotic geometry. You'll also notice that my units look a little bit different here. It's because I'm playing as a different faction. I've instantly forgotten what the faction is called. Let us see if we can settle our city. Now, we can see hexagons here, even though the geometry was supposed to be set to chaotic. Let's just drop the city. I actually feel a little bit disappointed because everything is still hexagonal. So, it could be me just misreading things. It's either an option that hasn't yet been implemented in the game, or it just means that the actual shapes of the hills are a bit chaotic, because they are. I mean, I think these hills in the previous game were far more hexagonal looking, and they don't quite look like hexagons now, which is probably my my own stupidity there, but I'm a little bit disappointed with that. I was just going to have a quick look and see if I could find something to attack so we could see a little bit better what these units were like, but unfortunately there's nothing around. But that is Endless Legend, ladies and gentlemen. So, until next time, goodbye for now.